Hey, thanks for checking us out. This is Sports and Other Stuff. You can find us on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. We have a new episode every week. We have more than 100 in the can, so check it out. Thanks for being a part of it. Just subscribe. Thanks a million.
T-Dog, J-Boy, and me, I'm Lugs. Our pride and joy is pumping our mugs. Be careful, kids, it could get rough. We're flipping our lids on sports and other stuff.
Welcome to the, shall we say, St. Patty's Day version of Sports and Other Stuff. I'm Lugs.
I shouldn't be Gora. And I'm J-Boy.
And I'm T-Dog.
That's right. Good to see you, fellas. This is Sports and Other Stuff. Happy St. Patty's Day. So here's what's happening. Tom Brady unretires. Carson Wentz, Khalil Mack, Amari Cooper, they're all buying new real estate. And Mitchell Trubisky gets another shot. But wait, Troy Aikman and now Joe Buck sign on with ESPN. Boys, good to see you. So let's work on this Brady thing for starters. This is crazy. He retires for about 6 weeks, went home and apparently just got tired of making school lunches for the kids. So he said, I got to go back to the office and finish some business that's unfinished. Fellas, why do we get sucked into this? Lugs?
Oh, well, let's be honest. He went home and got tired of making his own green, whatever, smoothies and said, I got to get out of here. She's driving me crazy. The kids are driving me crazy because he's never been home, right? So anyway, plus he's competitive. And it's like, I go back to like Ali. They all want to grab a little bit more of that spotlight, whatever it is, they need it. And so he's coming back. So let's hope that they can put a team around him. He seems to have the offensive line is still good, so he can be the statue back there and sling the pill.
All right. What do you say, T-Dog?
We give this other guy enough grief. We got to call it what it is. I mean, I'm not saying personality-wise he's exactly the same as Aaron Rodgers, but this is a classic Aaron Rodgers. I need to hog the spotlight, on the day of Selection Sunday he steals it from him, and he has to, get out there and then all of a sudden, think about it, this was on the eve of free agency. So Obviously the Bucs had to scramble, obviously, and now they're in full go mode where Ryan Jensen, the center, has re-signed. They brought in Carlton Davis, the talented corner who is 25 years old. He has now re-signed. So they were probably thinking, all right, we're going to take a step back this year. Then in the span of 24 hours, they have to go from, all right, we're going to reset. We're going to rebuild our roster to this full speed ahead, getting the mafia people to do their books. Because I don't know how they're going to get this team under the cap. Probably with re-signing Gronkowski. They also signed Russell Gage from Atlanta, who's a talented wide receiver for 3 years, $30 million contract. So, I mean, they're all – and they also traded for Shaq Mason. So they're trading Shaq Mason, and they're taking on his money from the Patriots. So they're going all in. I get it with Tom Brady because he's 45, and to be fair, he's not asking for Aaron Rodgers money, So he's not asking for $150 million. I think he's around like $25 million or whatnot. So like he's not eating up all the cap. But it just seems very odd.
Well, isn't it ironic he took some of Rodgers' big contract thunder too? That all kind of whoops. Is that on page 3?
I think you're right about that too. Again, because he needs a spotlight. Because Aaron Rodgers is getting too much of the glory. We're like, he's now the de facto guy now that Brady's gone, and Brady's like, no.
But yeah, Selection Sunday, way to screw that up, pal.
I was just going to say with Aaron Rodgers, hey, he's got nothing to say, anymore. He can't complain about anything.
No.
So what's he gonna pull? Is he gonna pull a Jesse Smollett, He's going to be attacked by.
Ooh, wait a
wild-
minute.
Wow, we're going in crazy directions.
That
here.
was a shot right there. That was a shot. I didn't expect that one. Wow, on the trigger. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's AJ Hawk is going to attack him at at the smoothie bar or something. I don't know. I was just saying, I'm honestly glad that Brady's back. It continues a storyline for us sort of geezers. So I'm glad he's back, and I hope he does well.
And it's good for football, you're saying?
Well, I do, and it's good for that division because let's be honest, is there a quarterback in that division? I'm trying to find one.
That's hard.
Man, hating on Matt Ryan.
Dang, there he goes again.
Well, talk about a guy that should just go ahead and get in the rocking
He's making
chair.
those laundry commercials, though. I like him.
Well, not that we'll really talk about it, but the fascinating thing is all three teams not named Tampa Bay. And at one point before Brady came back, they were in on this guy. All the teams in the NFC South, to some degree, clamor for that Deshaun Watson. Now that the criminal case he's not going to be indicted. Obviously, they didn't find him not guilty. That's not the case. He was not indicted.
Right.
So now he still has to deal with civil suits, but any criminal charges have essentially been he's passed that hurdle now. And that's why all these teams now are getting in and clamoring to line up. Tampa, sounds like Atlanta is, and the Saints have pitched all the 3 first-round picks, and they were willing to trade some of their top key components. I mean, it's actually really fascinating. It was said that they were willing to possibly trade Ryan Ramczyk, Marcus Davenport, Eric McCoy, or David Onyemata, and the first 3 rounders. Now, obviously not all those guys in the first rounders, but one of they like take your pick of any of these guys. And all these guys, for the most part, are very talented players. So it's like they're the ones that we know more about them. And also, we know with the Panthers the last few years, they're extremely desperate. God knows what the Panthers are willing to give up. So,
and one more thing about Brady. Shouldn't he have walked away when he won the Super Bowl the year before last and said, I'm done? Because what if he goes 7-10 or, 9 and whatever? It's going to be, it's just a lot to ask, I think, to get the glory and go back. Should have walked away when he was a winner.
The guy who took the biggest finger in the eye was the one who bought that football for Brady's last touchdown. $500,000 bucks, and 24 hours later, it's worthless. It's just crazy.
I forgot about that brilliant move. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about some of the others. Boy, there's too many. Carson Wentz, Khalil Mack, Amari Cooper, Mitchell Trubisky. Where do you want to start on that?
Hey, I got to say, I'm happy for Tribby. He's going to a good team, and he'll get his shot. It's only a 2-year contract.
Mm-hmm.
It's decent money, but he will get his shot. And Roethlisberger will be there to help him train in the offense. But the main thing for him is the defense will give him enough off the field time. It won't be desperation time every play. So I'm just happy to see a guy who took, how much more beatdown could he take and still stand up? So I'm happy to see him get a shot. And he'll if he doesn't do it here, he's done.
Well, he's going to a real franchise with a real coach, not somebody named Nagy. But as far as Roethlisberger helping him out, I don't see that happening. He's going to be sipping cocktails on the beach, baby. Mitch, here you go.
What? I honestly don't think that Roethlisberger, if Roethlisberger is asked by Pittsburgh to help out, he will do it just because he's just a big old lummox anyway.
Man, someone must have hit him in the head and he's going to do a 180. It's like an old bad sitcom where someone hits him with a brick and it opens up a new personality. That's the only way Roethlisberger's coming back.
I don't remember.
Is willing to give his free time.
I don't remember works well with others in his performance review. I don't think that
he works well with bartenders.
Those others. Yeah.
He doesn't seem like a very selfless guy. If he is, he's like, look at how great I've made Trubisky. That's the whole thing. He'd zap up all the, he'd suck up all the energy. I'm happy for Trubisky.
Yeah.
I think he'll. I will say you were saying how he got the crap kicked out of him with Chicago. Well, let's say this: Steelers' offensive line is not that great either.
Mhm.
So they definitely have a coach. So that is a step up, a significant step up from where he was. The wide receivers are fairly talented, and also is the tight end. So that is a step up for Trubisky. And I think we saw with Nagy, he couldn't make any quarterback better. So, like, to be fair to your point, it is a clean slate for Trubisky. I think it also was a good sign that the name that was linked with him mostly was Brian Daboll with the Giants. So clearly Daboll believes in him, and he actually worked with them for a year. So it shouldn't be doom and gloom for Pittsburgh. And even regardless if Trubisky doesn't work out, he's going to be better than whatever the hell Mason Rudolph is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still a win on some level for the Steelers.
Yeah, he's a top quality bridge quarterback, and then he's got 2 years theoretically to prove himself to be better. If you look at his stats early on, his stats are better than a lot of quarterbacks who are starting. If you just look at his
you mean his
pass
when they went 12-4? Yeah. That 1 year. Yeah. They had a golden year, sure.
Yeah, well, but again, the nice thing for him is they can still draft if it sounds like they were enamored at the Senior Bowl with Malik Willis. They could draft Malik Willis. They could sit him, or even if, let's say, Malik Willis catches fire early on in the preseason and training camp, Trubisky probably won't be happy, but he's a good enough, well-respected enough guy in the locker room. He'd probably be willing to, not going to say be happy about it, but he put on a brave face. He wouldn't be like Carson Wentz, where we heard like he was so mad that they were on their way to winning a Super Bowl without him. So,
and Lug, speaking of, I just got a call. They're wondering if you're eligible to play QB in Indy because they have no one since Carson Wentz is gone. Fellas, Carson Wentz, what is happening? What is happening?
Talk about a guy that sort of took a U-turn. He certainly did. But I would say Ron Rivera can at least walk over to him and slap him good and hard and say, "Don't do that again." When he starts doing all that goofy stuff, it's like, Carson, quit. So I don't think it's a grade up for the Commanders. I think it's a good stop for Carson Wentz, but for the Commanders, no, he's not the answer. He just isn't.
I mean, Washington got him for a second round pick, and for the second round pick this year, and 2 third-round picks, and one of the third-round picks are conditional. Essentially, the same caveat that the Eagles had for the Colts have for them, where if he plays 75% of snaps or plays 70% and they make the playoffs, that third round gets elevated to a second round. The main part is you look at it maybe for the Colts. The main reason they got out of it, and we'll talk about probably the Khalil Mack trade too. A lot of it is Washington's taking on that cap.
Yep.
Like his $28 million in his contract for next year. They're taking that on. The Colts have that off the board now. I mean, look, he played well at times for the Colts. I mean, if you look at his numbers, they're fine. It's just when you look at when you hear he lacked leadership, he was reckless with the football, and they went over that with him. They tried to give him hard coaching to get the reckless out of him. He did not take to it. I mean, and again, kind of like we've been saying, it's pretty damning that the Colts got rid of him because the free agency, Trubisky was a hot name. And again, we like Trubisky, but Trubisky was kind of joked on by everyone except for, I guess, us three to a degree. But everyone joked on him. He was a hot name. Like more than Teddy Bridgewater, more than Mariota is still out there. So it's like the draft, again, we don't know what these guys will be, but everyone has been telling us who's a talking head or a draft Nick, this is not a good draft for quarterbacks.
Draft Nick. Okay, so since the Colts are built for win now, pretty much, who's going to be the quarterback? What are they going to do?
Garoppolo. I'd say Jimmy Garoppolo.
He can't throw the ball till July is what I just heard today because of all his